Hey, Peacock.
Hello, hello.
I'm so
How's it
excited
going?
today about this. I'm so excited about this podcast today.
I am super excited. I can't wait to share. I am like jumping for joy with excitement.
Well, you were supposed to ask me why, but since you already know,
Well,
obviously, we're in the
I mean,
studio together.
at this point, I'm kind of like, okay, go, go, go. So, okay. So tell us, who do we have today joining us?
So I have to say that I feel like I am like movie star struck just because I've seen her on Instagram so many times and I think she's just beautiful and so glamorous. But it is the one and only Claudia Fabian from Beauty Debut. Welcome, Claudia.
Hello, ladies. I'm so excited to be here. And I am just really, really excited to talk with you about the trips and all the great things about being in our 50s.
Oh, I love the fact that you are such an advocate for pro aging. I think it's so important. Once we hit our 50s, you're kind of thinking like, what's next? But really, you're showing us there's so many things, and I know we're going to get into this, but can you share with us a little bit about your background, like where you come from, your interests, stuff like that?
Yeah, well, again, thanks for having me. My name's Claudia, and I originally am from Chicago. That's my hometown. That's kind of the city that I'll claim. I live on the West Coast with you guys now. I'm in Las Vegas, so not too far from where you are. And I love not having the snow, I will say that.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
shout out to Vegas for that, and no mosquitoes.
Oh,
Uh,
that's a big thing.
but I have spent the last, 30 plus years working in the beauty industry. So I started way back when way before YouTube and way before all of this social media stuff. I was a makeup artist and then, went into aesthetics. So I'm also an esthetician. And I've just really been so blessed to have this career that I've had in beauty because it really suits me. It's in my blood and I love what I do. I can't imagine doing anything else, to be honest with you. And at this stage in my career, it's kind of morphed now into, beauty content on social media. And in my 50s, can you believe that? And with gray hair, it's just, you just never know. I think following and keeping up your passions. And that's one thing I will say, that as we get older and life gets in the way, I think we kind of get far removed from our true passions. Like I used to really love to write poems and paint. And as you get busy in your career, you leave those things behind. And I think this time in our life is a time to re-explore things that you're passionate about. And so for me, luckily, I'm still exploring the beauty world and now shifting though and helping women to embrace aging, embrace their natural beauty, to accept the changes that come with aging rather than fighting them. It's a lot more fun to accept and to have, just like the flow of life.
Mhm.
And that's kind of where I'm at. And that's the energy that I want to bring and pass on to other women that are midlife and older.
See, we love that. When we came across your profile, it's like, wow, look, embracing the silvers, right? And we struggled for, at the very beginning, kind of like, how long is it going to take to grow out? But really, it was that transformation and that transition period to really go through what you just said, embracing who we naturally are. And, a little bit of, to reference what you said, shifting, you know, using makeup to highlight and to really bring out who you are rather than, in the younger years, we used to just put on all kinds of stuff and it's just the big wing, then the aquanets and all the stuff to try to be
Not
out
the
there
big
and
wing.
everything. But now it's but the big wing. But back in the day, that's basically what we did. We covered up. But really, you really are such an advocate for sharing who you are, and it's really kind of a process of accepting what we have our own beauty. Each one of us has our own beauty. So we give you major kudos for being out there and speaking out on all for all women, especially
Well, thank you.
yeah.
And that's why I named it the Beauty Debut. Is I think we debut a new version of ourselves every decade. I mean, if you think back to your 20s, your 30s, it's kind of like you think, oh my gosh, I've lived so many lifetimes. Like I feel like I've lived a different life. So every decade brings beauty, it brings gifts. And I think, we're sold by society that you got to stay eternally 30. Like you can't get old. It's over. You're done. Just, pack it in. And I think that is definitely not the message. And I think, the Gen X generation, I think we're kind of rebelling against that.
Yes.
It's like,
Yes.
no,
No.
like we don't have to age. And I hate the term aging gracefully. I know that's a very popular term,
Yes.
but for me, it gives the notion that we're just going to fade into the background very gracefully and make ourselves a little
Quietly.
smaller, quiet down. No, we're going to be bold. We're going to be out there.
I
We're
like
going to live our fullest expression without any apologies. This is it. This is who we are. And that's kind of so I always say aging glamorously or aging disgracefully. Like, let's just make a noise. Like, let's make a ruckus about
right,
it.
right. Rebel. We're rebelling.
Rebel. Yeah. If you want to still wear that winged eyeliner,
Go
do
for
it.
Do it. Do
I
it.
was
I
in
don't follow
Spain.
the rules.
I was in Spain sitting on a park bench waiting for something to happen. And this really older man sat next to me. And he was asking me questions. And he said, well, how old are you? And I said, well, I'm 52. And he said, oh, are you an abuela already? I said, no, I'm not. He said, oh, I'm sure you're excited about that and taking care of your grandkids. And I said, no, I'm not that kind of abuela. I said, I'm not kind of that. I'm a new generation abuela. I said, it was hard for me to raise my kid. It was hard. I put all into it. And I'm really definitely not looking forward to redoing it again. I'm not saying that I'm not going to be there, to lend a hand, but I want to do what I want to do now. I want to travel. I want to cut my hair like a pixie cut, or I want to let it long. I want to wing my eyeliner or not wing it. Like whatever I want to do, I feel like I'm free. And so I think that this new age, like you're saying, Claudia, Gen Xers, we're going to redefine what aging gracefully is all about.
And I think it's a big part of it too is, sure, all those wonderful things, but it's also freeing your mind.
It is.
Aging is a mindset, and we are so brainwashed to think one thing. Gray hair is old. Gray hair is, like you said, just old lady or grandma. Or what is a grandma? It's totally changed now.
That's
You're a great example of that. You're a glamma, right?
right. Yeah, no, that's
And I just think that we just have to break free our own deep-seated ageist thinking
yeah.
that we've just been indoctrinated with since we were young. We have to break free. And so I always say the big part of embracing your age or embracing your gray isn't just physical, it's mental. It's just forgetting all the rules that you've been told and things that you shouldn't be doing at your age. And if it feels right for you, do it.
I think 100%. I mean, for me, I am a grandma. I do help. I have my little one. But you know what's more important for me is to show her a new concept of what grandma is. Grandma
Mhm.
flies out, travels, that it becomes the norm. So I'm big on always making sure that I am the example and I'm breaking those stereotypes. Like, yeah, can I sit here and cook and absolutely, but that's not the grandma that I want to show. I want to show the empowerment and the freedom that by the time they're getting older, that they already know what a new definition is. And there's nothing wrong with anybody else, however they choose to do it.
Exactly. If you do want to kind of just chill back at this age and knit or cook, if that brings you joy, then that's where you
That's
need to be.
exactly.
But for those of us that maybe still want to travel or get out or wear short skirts still, whatever it is
Yeah.
that brings you joy,
Oh,
you
I
should
saw
still
that.
have the freedom to do that.
I saw that video you did, Claudia, about your knees, and I thought to myself, yes, I don't wear little mini skirts no more because I looked at my knees recently and I was thinking, what's going on there? I said it's okay to show my knees. I'm gonna show them.
Well, it's just so funny because, I was having a conversation with a girlfriend and she's like, oh, I can't wear skirts anymore. My knees are wrinkled. I'm not going to show my knees. And I thought, your knees are wrinkled? wrinkled. Like I hadn't even noticed, but she was so self-conscious about it. So I ran home and looked at my knees and I'm like, yeah, I guess my knees are sagging. They're a little wrinkled, but I still like wearing mini skirts. I'm still going to do it, with my cowboy boots, whatever,
I love it. I love
Mhm.
it.
It
I
comes with
love
the
it.
territory.
I mean, so it, that's just, and we accept it, and we're pro aging. That's the bottom line. We are pro aging.
And I'm taking my wrinkly knees to Morocco. So they're going to go
They're
and they're going to see Morocco too.
We're excited to announce that Claudia is going to be joining us in Morocco, which is we're going to be going February 12th to the 20th, and that is going to be a hoot. So tell us, Claudia, what is it about Morocco? I know you've told us the story, but we would like the audience to know what is it about Morocco?
Yeah. I mean, when I was younger, my parents, they did the best they could to expose us to a lot of things. And one thing a big family trip that we took when I was little was to Epcot Center, Walt Disney World or whatever. And I remember when you go to Epcot Center, you kind of get to experience different countries. And Morocco just stood out to me. I remember just being taken in by the colors, the music, just everything about it just left a little imprint in my brain. And that's always been on my bucket list is to go to Morocco. And I always thought that maybe I would attach it to like a trip to Spain and then, hop on down to Morocco. But this opportunity came around, and when I saw it, and I'm going to be, my birthday is next week. So the week after, pretty much, we're going to be heading to Morocco. And I thought, I'm going to do it for my birthday. I'm going to finally go. And I think that maybe other women can relate. And I've shared this before that I'll be 57. I always thought that I would be married or have a partner that I'd be traveling with, but that's just not, how it's panned out for me. And I just don't want to not experience things because I'm on my own.
Absolutely.
And I think this platform that you guys have started is just a great option for those of us that want to have adventure. We want to travel, but maybe we're a little hesitant to travel overseas by ourselves, and we're not there yet, and so this is kind of a good intro into that. And I think it is fun to have a group of friends or women together to experience some things. Because even when you travel solo, I mean, I'm comfortable being by myself, but I think, do I want to go like on a balloon ride by myself? Like, do I want to go do these things by myself? It's more fun with people, with a group.
yeah.
And so I think this is the perfect scenario. And I'm just very excited to be joining you and the other fabulous women that are on the trip. And I'm just so looking forward to it.
That is
And
so,
that's
I
really
think
what
that's such a cute
we have a
story.
lot of women that tell us that they're afraid to travel. We've had women who have no idea who's on this trip, and then they've shown up. It happened in Oaxaca. It's happened in Morocco. It's going to happen in Bali in July. We've got people who know each other, and there's people who have no idea. We don't know who they are, but they've reached out to us. But we always say you have friends, but then you have travel friends, because a lot of your friends can't
Yeah.
travel because they have obligations, they have jobs that they don't have the time to take off, they have families, and then some of them are afraid to fly. We've come across a bunch of women who say, I would love to go, but I'm afraid to fly. And that's hard. And so we can't take away the fear of
They do
flying,
make
but
pills for that, by the way.
Yes.
you know what? And there's cocktails on the airplane too, right? So you can take care of
It's
that too.
okay to rely on a few chemicals to get you through it, for sure.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's the whole point. We want to go to places like I told Anna, 2026 is going to look like African safari. It's going to look like Australia. It's going to look like maybe perhaps going to India, places that you would never go by yourself because, where do we start? But basically, we're all going to do it together as a group. So that's the whole concept. And thank
I
you
think
so
it's an
much.
amazing concept, and I'm just really fortunate that I, kind of stumbled across this, and it was just the perfect timing, and it was everything just comes together. And I think that's another thing is just trusting
Yeah.
and taking that first step. I was a little nervous, like you pull the trigger, but then once it's in motion, you're excited, and I'm already trying to think like, what am I going to pack? What am I going to bring to Morocco? And yeah, that's the next exciting part is packing.
And that brings us to our next question. The packing. The packing's always interesting, right? So tell us, what is one thing that you always pack when you travel? So I know you've done some international travel, you've done some domestic travel, but is there one consistent thing that you always have with you that you take along on your travels?
Well, I'd say my camera. I like to have a good camera
Mm.
because I really like to be able to capture the essence of where I'm at. So I think having my camera is the most important and enough clean underwear.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
I want enough clean underwear.
yes.
Those are the two desert island things. I think my camera and underwear.
There you go. That's essential. Now,
But
moving it
you
into
can
what
adopt
you do
you
in your expertise.
hold on, Anna. I was going to say, but you can adopt Anna's also mentality, or you could just buy it. That's what she says to me every time we travel. Oh, Anna, I forgot the coat. Girl, you could get a new one. We have enough things that we've bought overseas at this point that we could collect 2 different suitcases. But underwear's important. So go, Anna. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, no, no. That is that's the way I always pack a extra bag that folds up. It's like about this big. But then when I have other stuff, then I open it up and it's my little carry-on. So that's always the one thing that I always carry with me. But changing it over to beauty, to makeup, to our pro aging, what is what is your routine, or what is it that you like to take with you while you're traveling?
Well, I'm fortunate. I like to just take all my favorite creams and I put them just in little containers. So I don't bring the full size. I'll just bring just enough for the week or whatever in little containers. And as far as makeup goes, what of course I love full glam, but it's not always practical when you're traveling and I'm really going to try my hardest of hearts to pack small for this trip and not overpack and just kind of keep it low key. Although I'd love to bring, a fancy gown and all this other stuff, I'm just going to keep it really practical for what the itinerary entails. And like you said, I'm probably going to want to buy a dress there or I'm going to see
Oh
something there
yeah.
that I'll have to have.
Oh, I can't. I
So,
mean, everything
and
that
then
we're
for
gonna see.
makeup, I recommend bringing pencils. The fatter crayon pencils that can be eyeshadow, eyeliner, a
Oh.
lip crayon, just a little, you can put some on your cheek. So you can keep it really simple. And you really just, I think bringing a red lip, because
Mhm.
even if you don't have any makeup on and you want to feel a little glamorous, a red lip,
A red
you're good to
lipstick.
go. For the evening
Yep.
look, just bring a red lip and a nice pair of earrings, like something sparkly. You're going to
Oh,
Oh.
look
Check,
instantly dressed up.
I
check and
love
check. I got
that.
those ready to go.
I know. I'm like, okay. Well, I did purchase. That you had shown Ilia. Is that how you say that company? The pencils. Ilia.
That was like, I think that was Thrive.
I don't remember.
Oh, Elia was a lip pencil. Yeah, it was the really like pretty uh coral color.
The coral color. I bought that one, and that one's gone with me. And you know what? You're absolutely right. It's so easy to travel with anything that's pencil. You don't have to worry about anything leaking or melting. Pencils are the way to go. Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. So we
Yeah,
love
I'm gonna bring just some pencils. I'll bring a little thing of foundation just if I want to even out. Bring your sunblock, of course.
sunblock. Sunblock is important. Okay. So Claudia, are you a roller or do you cube things up?
I do the cubes.
You do the cubes. Okay.
Yeah. I
I'm a
don't know,
cuber.
is that
I'm a
appropriate
cuber.
answer?
No, no, no. You know what? I've learned for different trips, just depends. But the cube thing is very organized. You have everything by section. You know exactly what you have, and it really helps when you're choosing outfits. Mix and match and stuff like that. So yeah, no, cubers are good. That's a good way to go. Um,
Yeah, and I think I'm going to try just to do a carry-on. I'm really going to try. We'll see if I can do it. I might check like a suitcase, just I know I'm going to bring back things, but I'm going to try to keep all my clothes into a carry-on suitcase.
Sandy and I have a joke all the time. And every trip we say the same thing. And Sandy's like, Anna, what are you
Gonna happen.
doing? I'm like, I'm going to just carry it on. And then we get to the airport, and what happens, Sandy?
Well, no, she's like, I'm going to carry it on. I'm like, just in your carry-on are your supplements. Like, you can't travel with just a dang carry-on. We've got a first aid kit for our clients. We've got the shoes. We've got no, girl. We tried. It's not happening. I mean, I'm a
Well, for you, yeah, you're kind of taking care of people. You're hosting.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. But for me, I'm going to really try. If it happens, I'm going to document it because it'll be a miracle. Like the angels will come out and sing. Like it'll be a miracle.
No. I mean, if you could do it, definitely document, because people are always interested in how we pack. And a lot of the questions we get is like, how do you make sure that it's not 50 pounds? How do you make sure it's 49? I mean, we have our scale, we have the whole thing, but really, if you're able to do it, more power to you. Absolutely.
I kind of take that as a challenge. Like it's a challenge. Like we'll see if I can do it. I mean, I feel like when I went to Greece, that was another vacation I had taken with some friends, and I overpacked. And I was just so mad when I got there because I was like, I'm not going to wear this stuff, and I brought stuff that it was just too much. And it was a lot to lug, from destination to destination. And we were on a boat for a few days. It was just too much.
Yeah.
So I'm really going to try just to do a carry-on. And of course the carry-on, and then a little bag on top, so that's, I guess, really 2 pieces of luggage.
Yeah. Your personal.
And then maybe I'll just check an empty one.
yes.
So that I can bring back souvenirs or, whatever.
Yeah.
There's
Absolutely.
a lot of beautiful lamps.
Absolutely.
A lot of beautiful lamps to purchase. There's, so much clothing. It's like an endless amount of beautiful things. I'm now planning to redo my whole living room.
How do you bring back a lamp?
You can have them shipped.
I was going to say that's probably something you'd ship, right?
Yeah, but some of the clients last year actually brought them with them. They had them in these little boxes, but I'm like, I can't do all that. That's too complicated. But I have a whole plan that I'm going to redo my living room in the Moroccan theme. That's how much I love it. It's going to be, dark blue sofa and the whole lamp thing. So I'm hoping to buy some new lamps.
Oh yeah,
out there. It's going to be nice. But we're so excited.
I'm really excited.
We are very excited also, and we want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on here to talk to us about who you are, what you represent, and we really are looking forward to spending a couple of days with you, getting to know you better, and of course, making new friends and experiencing the beautiful.
Absolutely, likewise. I already feel connected, so it should all just kind of easily flow. It'll be great.
Yes. And we have some women that are going to be traveling with us that are amazing also. So thank you, Claudia. Thank you, Peacock. And to our listeners, please remember to follow us on Instagram, _peacocks_travel, or visit our webpage, www.twopeacockstravel.com. Sign up for a newsletter so we can make sure that you get all the pre-sale trips that are coming up in 2025. And so until next time, see you in February, Claudia. And I will talk to you later, Peacock.
See you in February.
Thank you. See you guys then.
Thank you. Have a good night.